There are 6 hidden patterns that decide whether a person becomes wealthy or stays stuck for the rest of their life. Most people never notice them. They think the problem is their salary, or the economy, or interest rates, or bad timing. It is almost never any of that. The real problem sits deeper. It sits in the way a person feels about money on an emotional level, long before a single dollar is earned or spent. And once that pattern is running in the background, no amount of income can fix it. That is why lottery winners go broke. That is why high earners live paycheck to paycheck. And that is why some people with average jobs retire wealthy while others with double the income retire with nothing. Today, 6 money personalities will be broken down, one by one. Watch closely. At least one of them is running your financial life right now. And by the end of this video, you will know which one and what to do about it. The first pattern is the martyr. The martyr is the person who always puts everyone else first. The kids, the parents, the partner, the friend going through a rough patch. The martyr gives, rescues, lends, covers, and sacrifices. Then wonders why there is never anything left at the end of the month. On the surface, this looks noble. Underneath, it is often a way of trying to earn love, approval, or a sense of being needed. The martyr mixes up generosity with self-erasure. And here is the hard truth. A person who never protects their own financial base eventually has nothing to give anyone. The airplane oxygen rule applies to money too. Secure your own mask first. If this sounds like you, the fix is simple to say and hard to do. Start treating your savings like a bill that must be paid before anyone else gets helped. The martyr also needs to learn how to say no without guilt. Every yes to someone else's emergency is often a no to your own future. That trade-off has to become visible before it can be reversed. The second pattern is the speculator. The speculator is hooked on the rush. Crypto pumps, meme stocks, options trades, the next hot launch. The speculator does not want to build wealth. The speculator wants to feel alive, and the market delivers that hit every single day, which is exactly what makes this pattern so hard to break. The problem is that speculation is not investing. Investing means buying assets that produce real value over years. Speculation means betting on price movement, and the odds are brutal. Recent studies on retail day traders show that around 70 to 90% of them lose money, and roughly 80% quit within the first 2 years. The speculator will have one big win, talk about it for years, and slowly bleed out on every trade that followed. If this is you, the fix is not to stop taking risk. The fix is to split the money into 2 accounts. Keep a small play account for the thrill, and keep a serious long-term portfolio that is never touched by that impulse. The third pattern is the avoider. The avoider does not open the bank app. The avoider lets the mail pile up. The avoider changes the subject when a partner brings up the budget. This person is often smart, capable, and successful in other areas of life. That is what makes the avoidance so confusing. The root is almost always shame or fear. Somewhere along the way, money became linked to a painful feeling, and the mind learned that not looking felt safer than looking. But money does not go away when ignored. It grows in the wrong direction. Late fees, interest, missed chances, slow financial decay. The way out is small and specific. 15 minutes, once a week, sitting down and looking at every number. The goal is not to fix everything at once. The goal is to end the flinch. Once a person can look at the numbers without panic, every other financial skill becomes possible. The fourth pattern is the hoarder. The hoarder saves like a machine, tracks every cent, and feels real discomfort when spending money, even on things that would truly improve life. The hoarder is not building wealth to enjoy it. The hoarder is building a wall against an imagined disaster, and that wall is never tall enough. There is always one more emergency to prepare for, one more reason to delay living. The irony is that hoarders often miss the strongest wealth-building move of all, which is investing that cash into assets that grow. Money sitting in a checking account loses value to inflation every year. Over a decade, that hidden loss can erase a huge portion of what took years to save. The hoarder feels safe watching the balance stay the same, but the purchasing power behind that balance is shrinking every single month. If this pattern feels familiar, the shift is to give the money a job, a number, a date, a purpose. Wealth without a purpose turns into a prison with padded walls. The fifth pattern is the trapped employee. This one is the most common of all. and the most damaging in a way most people never talk about. The trapped employee knows the job is draining them. They know the ceiling is low. They know the raises will never match inflation. And yet, year after year, nothing changes. Why? Because the paycheck is just comfortable enough to make leaving feel reckless, and just tight enough to make saving feel impossible. That is the trap. It is designed to keep a person exactly where they are. Escaping it does not mean quitting tomorrow. It means building a second stream of income on the side while the main job pays the bills. A skill sold on the internet, a small online business, a portfolio of dividend assets, anything that creates a second dollar that does not depend on showing up to that office. The sixth pattern is the apathetic. The apathetic has given up on the whole game. Wealth feels like something that happens to other people. Retirement feels like a fantasy. Investing feels pointless because the amounts feel too small to matter. So nothing gets done. Weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and the compounding that could have changed everything never gets started. Here is what the apathetic needs to hear. Just $100 a month, invested from age 25 to age 65 at the long-term stock market average, grows to somewhere between $250,000 and $500,000, depending on whether the numbers are adjusted for inflation. Apathy is expensive in a way that is almost impossible to see in the moment. Every year of doing nothing is a year that cannot be replaced later, no matter how much income arrives. The antidote is not motivation. The antidote is automation. Set up one automatic transfer into an investment account. Then let the system run without needing to feel inspired. The account grows in the background while life happens in the foreground. 6 patterns: the martyr, the speculator, the avoider, the hoarder, the trapped employee, and the apathetic. Almost every person carries traces of more than one, but usually one of them is dominant, and that dominant pattern becomes the ceiling on everything financial. Break the pattern and the ceiling rises. Ignore it, and no salary, no side hustle, and no investment strategy will ever be enough. There is one more thing worth saying here. These patterns are not personality flaws. They are habits of thought, usually built in childhood, shaped by the people around us and the experiences that formed our first ideas about money. That means they can be changed, not overnight, but faster than most people expect once the pattern is named out loud. The people who build real wealth are not smarter, luckier, or more talented. They simply figured out which pattern was running their life and they interrupted it. Start by naming the pattern. Then, take one small action this week that goes against it. If the martyr is dominant, save before giving. If the speculator is dominant, move most of the money into long-term assets. If the avoider is dominant, open the bank app once. If the hoarder is dominant, invest a portion of the cash pile. If the trapped employee is dominant, spend 1 hour building a second income stream. If the apathetic is dominant, automate a single transfer today. If this video helped uncover the pattern holding you back, do me a favor and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you there.